Okay, hello Year 9. Going to indices and doing a unit correction on this. So, Unit 3, Assessment Corrections, question 1a, 4 to the power of 2 or 4 squared. We know, so this is going to be my working out area. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which equals 16. So this is 16. 1b, 10 cubed is 10 times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. So it's 1,000. And, whoops, just going to lock this. Two to the power of 4 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Don't be lazy. If you know the answer for sure, if you're very confident, answer it. But with me, I would write it down. Every teacher would, every mathematician would, and they'll start calculating. 2 times 2 is 4. Times it by 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Okay. D, 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27, so this is 27. 5 squared, we don't need to write it down anymore. We should be confident with squaring numbers. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. 11 squared is 11 times 11. Now, I saw a lot of 122s, don't want to see 122. 11 times 11 is 121. I think this is where we fell when we wrote to 122 instead of 121. So know your 11 times table. Okay, question 2. Question 2 is telling us 36 is 6 to the power of what? Well, 6 times 6 is 36. And we can write 6 times 6 as 6 squared, so this is going to have a power of 2. 10,000 is 10 to the power of what? Well, 10 times 10 is 100, times it by 10, 1,000. 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. And this can be written as 10 to the power of 4. So here would be 10 to the power of 4. 81 is 9 to the power of what? Well, start with 9, times it by 9 is 81 already. Okay, so 9 times 9 is 9 squared. Alright, to the power of 2. Just going to make some area for us to work with. 81 is 3 to the power of what? Well, start with 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Times it by 3 is 27. Times it by 3. Well, 27 times by 3. Very quickly, 3 times 7 is 21. Carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 81. Oh, we've already reached 81. Fantastic. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. Okay, now we've reached 3 squared times 3 to the power of 6 is 3 to the power of something. Remember, the bases are the same, so we're going to leave the bases the same. What do we do with powers when we times? We add the powers, so 2 plus 6 is just 8. With f, again, 7 to the power of 4 times 7 to the power of 6 is 7 to the power of something. We're multiplying, so we need to add the powers. 4 plus 6 is 10. Now, 7 to the power of 9 for G, divide by 7 to the power of 3. Remember, bases are going to be the same when we multiply or divide. When we're dividing, what do we do with the powers? We subtract them. So 9 take away 3 is 6. And same thing here, 9 to the power of 7 divided by 9 to the power of 2 is 9 to the power of something. 7 take away 2 is 5. Question 3, my favourite question, has to be something. This is not going to work. Too dark. Again. Why is it doing that? Okay. Let's try it one more time. I've got a trick up my sleeve. Let's have a look. Will it work? Yes, it will. Fantastic. Let's lock this in so we can work in this area. I'm going to lock it. Okay. Now, a lot of you are confident with multiplying and dividing, but you were so confident, some of you forgot we're adding. Now, adding, we can't use the same rule, remember? So, when it says calculate, it should be a clue that we have to do some working out. Now, doing question 3a tells us to calculate 10 squared plus 10 to the power of 4. Now, 10 squared we know is 10 times 10, which is 100, plus 10 to the power of 4 is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10 to the power of, or what, well, 10 to the power of 4 is 10,000. Or remember our tricks with powers of 10, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Only works with tens, so we're lucky. And 10,000 plus 1,000, I was so annoyed to see 11,000 and some of you working out. Remember, if we're going to add them, do the correct way. If you're not sure, or if you want to check, you've got time, add them up properly. That's 0 plus nothing. 0 plus 0 is nothing. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus nothing is 0. 1 plus nothing underneath it is 1. So this is 10,100. I was so annoyed when I saw 11,000 and I'm thinking, oh no, they almost got full marks. They just wrote down the wrong thing, even though they wrote down 100 plus 10,000. Now, moving on to question 3b. I'm going to remove this so we have space to do some working out. Remember, when we're making notes, copy down everything you see here so you know what the working out looks like. 3b tells us to work out 2 cubed plus 3 cubed. Okay, 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, so underneath I'm going to write 8. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. I'm not going to bore you, we've already worked out what 3 cubed is, and it's 27. And 8 plus 27 is 35. So this here is 35. Question 3c. Remember, for 3b, copy exactly what you see here, this is your working out area, if you need to make some corrections. Okay, question 3c. 7 squared plus 2 to the power of 7. Now, 2 to the power of 7, even I need to work it out and write it out. But I know 7 squared is 7 times 7 is 49. 2 to the power of 7 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's a really bad looking 2. I'll write it properly. Whoops, again. Times 2. I'm just going to count the number of 7s so our calculation is wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Starting with this 2, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. 64 times 2 is 128. So we have to do 49, add 128. 9 plus 8 is 17, carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, and we're left with 177. So this here is 177. So 7 squared plus 2 to the power of 7 is 177. Some of us did this exam paper. So Unit 3, Part 2 we called it. If you haven't done Part 2, you can stop the video now, think about the questions, make notes, and if you've done Part 2 as well, let's move on to question 1a. 7 cubed is 7 times 7 times 7. Seven times 7 is 49. 49 times 7, I'm not going to do the calculations. 49 times 7 is 343. 3 to the power of 4 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27 times 3 is 81. 10 to the power of 6, we're just going to have 1 and 6 zeros. Otherwise, 1 million. Okay, 64 is 8 to the power of what? Well, 8 times 8 is already 64, and that's going to be to the power of 2. 64 is 2 to the power of what? I'm going to write down 2 times 2 is 4, times it by 2 is 8, times it by 2 is 16, times it by 2 is 32, times it by 2 is 64. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 2's multiplied by each other. For this kind of question, we know you have to count to 0, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros, so 10 to the power of 5. When we multiply, the bases stay the same. Use green, I've been naughty, I haven't been using green. Bases stay the same, good. What do we do to the powers? Add the powers, so that becomes 11. 7 to the power of 14 divided by 7 to the power of 3 is going to be, well, we're dividing, the bases are the same, 7 and 7. 14 take away 3 is 11. Remember, if we've got brackets, we multiply the powers. 6 times 3 is 18. Right. I'm just going to clean up working space for question 3. My favorite question has to be question 3. And here's my working space. Just going to fill it up. And we're going to lock it. Okay, question 3a. We have to work out 4 to the power of minus 1. Remember, what do negative powers do? They create a quick fraction. So we write 1 over 4 to the power of 1. The power stays the same. It's just the negative creates a fraction. And 4 to the power of 1 is just 4. So this here is 1 over 4. Okay. Question 3b. 6 to the power of minus 2. The minus creates a quick fraction, 1 over, and the power stays the same. 1 over 6 to the power of 2, and 6 to the power of 2 is 36. So this is 1 over 36. 9 to the power of minus 2 is 1 over 9 squared. Again, minus creates a fraction, the power stays the same. 9 squared is 9 times 9, which is 81. So 1 over 81. 5 to the power of minus 3 is 1 over 5 to the power of 3, so 3d. And 5 to the power of 3 is 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Times it by 5 is 125. So this is 1 over 125. This one here is 1 over 10,000, and this here is 1 over 64. Question 4, copy and complete each of the following statements. We're multiplying things out of the same base, so we need to write the same base. They've done that for us already. And we add the powers. 7 plus 4 is 11. Remember, with brackets, we multiply the powers. 3 times 5 is 50. And again, we're dividing the same bases. And since it's dividing, we take away the powers. So 7 take away 3 is 4. Okay. Make sure to make corrections in red pen. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, you can comment and ask me.